man, I feel like it's been forever since I've posted a video. So, trying to get back on the videos after some vacation, some birthday time. So, we had Christmas, and then we went to Florida for New Year's, and also celebrated my birthday over there. And as we got back, if you guys don't know, we own a gym. So, as we got back, the gym was crazy busy because everyone had their New Year's resolution. So just haven't been able to work on the car. And so I promise in the next video you'll see an actual update on the car. But today I just want to kind of get you guys up to speed, bring you up what's been going on, where I've been, and why the videos have slowed down. So I was actually ahead on videos. You guys heard me talk about, me and Joe talking about being in the future, and the videos were like 2 weeks ahead of time. And I did it that way because I knew this time was going to be slow. And for a couple of reasons, mainly because we went out of town, went on vacation. Another reason is because I knew we were going to be super busy at the gym these first couple of weeks of January. And then the third and most important reason is because, well, we're just waiting on parts. There's a ton of like small things we could get done, and you actually see in the next video a large piece that we're going to get done. But there's really not much we can do while we're waiting on the motor. And I had to decide on a couple things that I actually wanted to do with the car and which route I wanted to go with the car. Obviously you guys have seen us working on the rear end a lot lately. And that's not completely done, but the majority of it, the bulk work, is done. And I'll kind of go over that once we get back to working on that, because we've kind of stopped, well, Joe has stopped working on the rear end because now we're focusing on the front of the car, because hopefully in the next couple of weeks the engine will show up, which brings me to my next issue. So the rear end, like I said, majority of it's done. The thing we need to do last is put on the anti-roll bar, weld in some tabs so that Joe can cover up the whole rear end, but we can't do the anti-roll until we have the engine transmission in, because we want the weight of the front, or the weight on the front of the car, back down to where it's normally going to be, so we can see what the ride height's going to be at, set everything where we want to, and then put the anti-roll in. So that stuff's all got to wait, and Joe's going to wait on doing some of the trim work, and we're going to start focusing on the front of the car. And the reason why this has been taking a while is I took the heads off. Well, sent the motor to Will RPG Engines. He took the heads off, sent them to Frankenstein, and Frankenstein had the heads. Just gonna get them ported and polished. Their program that they have for the Gen 3 Coyote heads. I was supposed to do it last year, but I ran out of time because last year at this time I put in a new built motor, bigger turbo, and we did the cage last year right before TX2K. And if you guys want to go back, you can go watch those videos, but it was a race to the end, and we made it to TX2K, which was awesome. But we're kind of now in the same boat. However, we're even further behind this year than we were last year, because I made even larger changes. So last year we went from the stock motor to a built motor, bigger turbo, and did the cage, which was a lot of work. So this year did a new built motor with Frankenstein heads, bigger turbo, whole new turbo system, solid axle in the rear, and you guys will see what we're doing to the front. You can probably already guess, but you guys will see what we're doing to the front in the next couple videos. But way more changes and a lot more work this time to be had. So we are way behind, and yeah, you guys will see like a full update in the next one, but I kind of want to just get you guys up to speed what we've been waiting on. So anyways, Frankenstein finally is almost done with the heads. They had to shut down for a couple weeks for quarantine because all of their employees got COVID, or most of them got COVID, so they had to shut down for a couple weeks. And so just been waiting on them to get back to work, and so they're catching up. And I don't know why these guys are revving their bikes. It's like a 35-mile-an-hour street, and these guys are going crazy. Anyways, so Frankenstein is almost done with the heads. They're going to ship them out to Will. Will's going to reassemble the motor, and I'll talk to you guys what he's going to change this time around. Luckily, like I said, the motor wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, but he's going to change a few things this time around, and then we'll put the Frankenstein heads on, lock the cams, and it will be back. I don't know how long it's going to take once the heads ship out. Today's Saturday. I'm hoping the heads ship out Monday, and then hopefully the heads will get to Will in California by the end of the week. And then from there, I just don't know how long it's going to take him, because I know he has a ton of motors to do. It's just everyone's trying to get their motor built right now. It's winter time. So hopefully it doesn't take too long. I'm hoping, because dependent on when the motor gets back, is if we can make TX2K or not. So we're gonna try to make TX2K. This is gonna be like the first episode of trying to make TX2K21. We made it last year, barely. I was literally working on the car hours before, and huge problems came right at the end, right before we were supposed to leave. But we got the car done, and then we had even bigger problems once we got to Houston. But we ended up making it to TX2K, and it was a good time. So I'm hoping we can make it this year, but we did make a lot of changes, and they're very big changes. And then the problem is being able to test the car before TX2K. So got the rear end in, that's done. Had to do some massaging on the frame rails up front because the size of the axle and the offset of the wheels I did is just so close. It was so close. But we had to massage the frame a little bit. I accidentally massaged Joe's concrete in the driveway or in his garage and broke a few pieces. You guys saw that in the video. It was pretty funny, but it's not funny. So yeah, so we had to massage that. And like I said, we're pretty much done back there, besides cleaning everything up, putting it all back together, and then doing the anti-roll once the engine and trans are back in. I have everything for the transmission, except I don't have a drive shaft, because I don't know the length of drive shaft we need yet, because it's a Power Glide. It's an S550. These freaking guys on the motorcycle again. It's an S550 with a Power Glide, but it's got a straight axle in it. And so it's kind of a uncommon length, so we want to make sure everything's sitting in there exactly how we want it, and then measure for the correct drive shaft. So we're gonna have to wait on the drive shaft, which is another thing we'll probably have to wait, like we may end up waiting like 2 to 4 weeks on. So I don't know, it's gonna be really close if we make TX2K or not, but we are sure as shit going to try our hardest to make it this year. We just made a lot of changes in a short amount of time. And with everything going on this year, literally we've just been like waiting on parts. So, and everything's been coming later than we thought it would be here, and that's just part of it. There's nothing you can do about that. I know that Joe and myself are gonna do everything that we can to get it there on time. We'll work the long hours, work the weekends trying to get it done, but we can only do so much if we don't, if we have the parts. But if we don't have what we need, then we can't get too much done. So, like I said, you guys will see finally what the car looks like in the next video. The thumbnail in this video is the car on the floor, because Joe did actually get it. Everything's set up in the back. It's good to go. It's sitting on the floor. But now the car's jacked back up because we're moving on to the next process, which is working on the front end of the car. I did start the manual brake conversion as well. Aerospace Components makes brake booster delete up front, gives you a new master cylinder, and then gives you this super nice billet brake pedal. And then I got the manual brake conversion kit from Motion Raceworks that comes with the proportioning valves, new brake lines, and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna be working on that stuff while Joe's working on the front end, and we're just gonna kind of flip back and forth between doing that. And we're hoping that we get the front end stuff done by the time the motor comes back, because Joe can whip up a turbo kit pretty fast. But the problem is we're still trying to run a radiator up front, and so we can't even really mock up like where the radiator's gonna go. I switched to an air-to-air, so we gotta figure out where we're gonna put the air-to-air intercooler. At one point, I will say, at one point last week, I was about to just ditch everything and go to a full standalone like Holley or Fuel Tech or one of those, because I started pulling all the wiring harness out of the way because of what we're doing to the front end, and that shit is a huge mess. There's so much damn wiring and damn loom, and a lot of that stuff I'm not even using since I deleted the direct injection. I have manual steering, manual brakes. There's a lot of unused harness that's just sitting there, and I would have loved to just kick all that shit out and switch to like Holley or Fuel Tech or something like that. But I think with how many changes we've already made, it would just be dumb to make another change, because then this car will just end up being down forever, and that'll be the end of it. So I hate that my car's even been down. I think it's been down since like the 1st or 2nd week of November, whenever that streetcar takeover was. I think it was like the 1st or 2nd week of November. And I hate that my car's been down this long, but that's part of it. This is why I don't like making huge changes all at once. But you do this, and you get to race most of the year and hopefully just kind of maintain it and go faster. But we're in the phase where we're trying to upgrade stuff. So we're down for a little bit. So we're gonna get back to the videos. We're gonna upload a lot more because we do have a lot of work to do now that we started working on the front end. And you know, we got our flashlight shootouts coming up, and so there'll be some film from that, plus Joe will be racing at the flashlight shootout, so there'll be some content from that. But we're hoping by the end of February, the middle to the end of February, that the Mustang is back up and running so we can go test it before we get to TX2K. But the problem is we're in like the middle of January, and I don't think we'll have the motor till the end of January, so it's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be a time crunch. But I really just wanted to update you guys. I know I'm kind of just dragging on, but I really just want to update you guys. Haven't made a video in a long time on my Mustang. I've made a few videos on Joe's and a few videos of just kind of here and there stuff, but the Mustang is alive. I'm literally headed to Joe's right now to make the next video so you guys can see us working on it, but we are making some progress finally on it, and I can't wait to show you guys what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be worth it, but you just gotta stick with us through this upgrade phase. But we're gonna get through it, hopefully. Mentally, I'm not ready. I'm overwhelmed, but we're gonna get through it. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the update. Comment down below what you think the Mustang will run at TX2K. It might run really slow, but we'll make it there somehow. And if we don't make it, we'll just throw my Coyote in Joe's car, and that'll be the most badass Mustang in the world. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on the next one.